rest till we see the serpent.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest.
Here by a 5-4 decision allowing the U.S. Border Patrol to remove razor wire that was deployed by the state of Texas at the border. This is while the legal challenge to this dispute now plays out in court, right, Joan?
That's right, and we've been waiting for this decision. This has been going on for several weeks, where the state of Texas, Governor Abbott has been blocking the Biden administration Border Patrol at the border in Texas. You know, this is a long simmering immigration battle, and it arose from a lower court judges blocking the administration from taking down the razor wire. And today, by a 5-4 vote, along largely ideological lines, the Supreme Court has allowed the Biden administration to continue having access to the border and to take down that razor wire. And let me tell you about the split, Boris and Brianna. Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Brett Kavanaugh all dissented from this order. Now, this all started in December, and since early January, the Biden administration had been urging the Supreme Court to intervene and to block the order that kept its border control agents from getting to a stretch of the border along the Rio Grande and to continue taking down this razor wire. And we know how contentious this has been, but it's also been the kind of situation that has caused a lot of injury and deaths. In the middle of this controversy, a woman and 2 children drowned, and the Biden administration said it needed access to this area and to the river for safety reasons and to, frankly, to carry out the Border Patrol's mission.
This is it, y'all. Supreme Court rules for Biden administration and the Texas border dispute. This ruling was on Monday the 22nd, today, about an hour ago, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's covered by every news channel. The Supreme Court sided with the Biden administration on Monday in a dispute over sea wire barriers erected by Texas along the Mexican border. So what's next? What happens when they go to march in there and cut down these sea wires and Greg Abbott and his National Guard says, you're not doing it? So are they going to use that imprisonment and those fines that they talked about, no more than $5,000 or no more than 3 years in prison? For the National Guard members, they have just taken your sovereignty at the state level. Let that sink in for a moment. You no longer have the right to protect yourself from invasion. This is it, y'all. If we don't put our foot down, this is it. We're going to go down a very dangerous slope very fast. I'm going to say it a little louder for y'all in the back. At the state level, the right to protect yourself from invasion, gone. What is the point of a National Guard in every state if the governor cannot use them without the feds stepping in and stripping away those rights one by one? Starting to look more and more like North Korea every single day. It is up to us, as Americans, as patriots, as mothers and fathers, as civilians and veterans alike. The future of this country is in our hands. What are they going to take next? What are they going to take next? A 5-4 vote. All 5 of those Supreme Justices should be arrested. Thus always to tyrants. That's what y'all are.
So just a few hours ago, we found out that the Supreme Court will allow federal agents to remove the razor wire that the Texans put in place at the border. The Supreme Court's order did not elaborate on the decision. It means federal border agents can resume full control of the contested border area while litigation continues. So my question is, what does this mean? Like, does this mean now that the agents are coming back and they're going to take full control? Are they going to try and arrest these soldiers if these soldiers refuse to leave? Are the soldiers going to contest this and be like, no, you're not coming back, we're going to stop you? Like, I have so many questions, and I just want to know what's going to happen. I want to know which side is going to buckle, because the National Guardsmen have said that they've seen a huge improvement having the razor wire there, and it deters people from coming through. So they're already seeing positive results in regards to that. The National Guard has come through so far, and I just don't want to see them give up yet. We just need to keep praying that our borders will be secure and safe.
Breaking news to all Americans, prep and get ready. The Supreme Court turns on Americans, allowing Border Patrol agents to remove razor wire installed by Texas at Mexico border. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court just ruled that Biden can remove razor wire installed by Texas on the border. The 3 liberals on the court were joined by Justice Roberts and Barrett. The Biden administration will likely seize Shelby Park from Texas and remove any razor wire that was installed. Here were the 5 Supreme Court justices that were in favor of the removing of the razor wire. It isn't coming, it is here, and it is real clear the Supreme Court does not have the best interest of the American people in mind. You guys remember in the month of December when the FBI were putting out warnings to all Americans of the potential threats that were coming to America? Well, there was just a recent threat just a few days ago at our southern border from a migrant. Check this out.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you would know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am.
Oh, we know.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No,
Get ready.
I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
Soon.
All right, take a second and look at this real quick. Read it, process it, digest this. The Supreme Court, that's the United States Supreme Court, made the decision today to allow Border Patrol agents to remove the razor wire that Texas installed at the southern border. The wire that stops illegal crossing over our southern border, at least over this 30-mile span, roughly. A protection that stops criminal activity from entering through our border unknown. That allows resources that would otherwise have to patrol that area to be allocated somewhere else. That's what they said can be removed now. So our court, our highest court, a court that is supposed to uphold our Constitution, that's supposed to protect the American citizen, is now saying, yeah, border protections are not required. It was a 5-4 vote. Alito, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Thomas. They are the ones that sided with Texas in this vote. All the others sided with the current administration. And none of them provided any explanation for their votes, at least as far as I can tell at this point. Listen, with the standoff in Eagle Pass, with Texas against the current administration, there's been court filings for that as well. Which way are those going to go? All right, take a second and look at this real quick. Read it, process it, digest this. The Supreme Court, that's the United States Supreme Court, made the decision today to allow Border Patrol agents to remove the razor wire that Texas installed at the southern border. The wire that stops illegal crossing over our southern border, at least over this 30-mile span, roughly. A protection that stops criminal activity from entering through our border unknown. That allows resources that would otherwise have to patrol that area to be allocated somewhere else. That's what they said can be removed now. So our court, our highest court, a court that is supposed to uphold our Constitution, that's supposed to protect the American citizen, is now saying, yeah, border protections are not required. It was a 5-4 vote. Alito, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Thomas. They are the ones that sided with Texas in this vote. All the others sided with the current administration. And none of them provided any explanation for their votes, at least as far as I can tell at this point. Listen, with the standoff in Eagle Pass, with Texas against the current administration, there's been court filings for that as well. Which way are those going to go?